Hello and welcome to GrindslimeTV with me, your host Aaron. And today we are heading over to Finland for one of my all-time favourite bands. We are talking about the Satanic black metalers that are Archgoat, and their album in particular, the Light-Devouring Darkness. Ooh, what an album. This was my introduction to Archgoat. I think it must have been around, I don't know, between like 2012, 2014, I think I found Archgoat around that sort of time. So I'd already had a few records out by that point. I'd say this is the first one of theirs that I heard. And first, look at that artwork. Oh, coolness. That's the old Chris Moyen for you, doing his thing. Very cool stuff. This is a reissue of Course. This was put out by Floga Records and was part of actually a box set where there was 5 of these Archgoat cassettes inside, you know, including like the Archangel, Triumphant, etc. All that lot. But yeah, definitely a top album in my opinion. Very dark, very raw, and Archgoat, I believe, are one of the heaviest bands going. There's the lads there doing their best Under a Funeral Moon impression. But on the inside here, you get all your fancy lyrics and whatnot. The lyrics are always really cool. They're like kind of poetic and stuff, which I suppose you could argue is all songs, but I don't know. These just seem to be like, they're straight to the point, but they're also, I think they've got like an archaic kind of feel to them as well. Almost like you're being read some sort of like dark scripture or something really cool. And again, you know, that I love Archgoat's logo. One of the coolest ones in the game, in my opinion. Shame because that creases in. So we straighten that out a little bit. There's a bit more going on. So you've got the goat head there and everything. There's his eyeballs, his little nose. I know that's not the noise goats make, but I'm sure one of them has at some point. But that really, really cool stuff. They've got a very, very simple formula that they just execute awesomely every time. Now, Archgoat's one of those bands where if someone said they were boring, I would totally understand where they're coming from. All their songs do sound very, very similar on a first listen, and maybe a second and a third. But like with a lot of the stuff on here, I'm always saying, you know, you stick with it and just listen to it for the sake of enjoying it, and then you really do start picking up on the little characteristics that make each song what they are, and you really do remember them as well. Maybe not by track title exactly or whatever, but when you're listening to it, it's like, and you listen to one song and you know it's like, oh god, that really good bit's coming up on this, and you get to know it like that, and riff for riff after a while, and you think to yourself, shit, how did I turn something that I thought originally could have been, you know, it was awesome but monotonous, and now it's actually really not. It's really good, clever writing, and I think people underappreciate it. No, I think Archgoat are fantastic, and they were really fun live when I saw them as well. They've got a bit of a sense of humour about them, off their face on the old beer and all. They love that. Another bit of all that, but I don't know. It's not like they're particularly entertaining live. They've got all like the spikes and stuff, and they're for the most part just stood there. But I don't know, because their sound's so grand, it sort of just brings that all to the forefront. It's like you're dealing with these sort of almost preacher-like figures in front of it. Really, really cool stuff. And one of my definitely not the best live performance I've ever seen, but it's definitely one of my fondest memories of shows was seeing Archgoat. That was awesome. Really, really glad I got to see them, and hopefully will again. But yep, you've got plenty of albums. The great thing about Archgoat, you think to yourself, oh, where do I start? And literally just pick one and go from there. They're all great. Some might argue it's because they all sound the same. I disagree. Like, you know, some of their albums don't have a single palm mute on them. Like the Luciferian Crown, for example, being one of them. As far as I can remember, this one's literally again the same sort of story, but only on the last track do you get a palm mute in there, and then you get other ones that have really sort of muted riffs and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of variety there. It just goes over a lot of people's heads because they're maybe just not paying attention so much or haven't got the time to, which, you know, That's fine. But no, definitely an underrated and underappreciated band in my opinion. So check out Finland's Archgoat. Can't go wrong with any of their releases. They're all great. And I'll check you guys on the flip side.